Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a first impression review and kind of wear test of the Maybelline Dream Cushion Foundation. I picked this up at my local Walgreens for $15.99. Girl, that is so expensive for the drugstore. But hopefully it wears amazingly and I love it. But the whole idea of these kind of foundation products is that they come with a cushion. I do like the fact that it has a mirror. And once you take the cushion off, there's this little door, which I like because it protects the product. And the product is saturated in this beautiful sponge, which I love because I feel like it is kind of like a powder. It's really easy on the go, something that's really travel friendly. This product is supposed to be like a dewy finish. I am a dry skin girl. I love dewy, so as soon as I heard dewy, I was like, I'm on it. I do half my face with a primer and the other half my face with just moisturizer. My skin right now is already moisturized. I cleansed, I toned, I moisturized, and I applied eye cream underneath my eyes, and that's about it. That's all I did. So I'm going to go in with just a little bit of my favorite primer. This is the Benefit Professional. I use this all the time right where I have big pores or any kind of problem areas. I'm going to do the primer on this side, and I'm going to apply it right underneath my eye right here where I have big pores. I find it really difficult to split my nose in half, so I'm literally just going to apply the primer all over the nose. I'm going to be running errands today, so hopefully this withholds all that. And then the rest I'm going to apply just here and there. I think I'm going to apply a little bit on my forehead, and the rest I'll just smear on my cheeks. Now I normally don't get oily, but I do get a lot of creasing underneath my eyes right here. I get smile lines usually and a little bit of creasing on my forehead, but on my cheeks I have little whiteheads, as you can see, like the redness. It usually pops through most foundations unless it's like a full coverage foundation. Now when it comes to testing out foundations, I'm not going to apply any concealer on those areas. I want to see how it wears on its own. I'm going to use a sponge that's provided just because why not? And also I need to wash all my beauty blenders and I have not done that yet. Oh, by the way, I got the color Warm Nude. That was my best guess. It's shade 30, so right now off the bat it looks a little bit warm for me, so I'm gonna have to probably bring it down my face. Straight up from the first kind of coat of this foundation, I can tell that it settles really nicely onto the skin. It doesn't look cakey, it just looks like my skin but better. The pore areas on my face are definitely visible on the side that does not have primer. The primer definitely is making a huge impact on the side that I did put it on. My forehead as well, it didn't settle as much into the pores where I have primer on, so that's a really great easy fix. I do like the way that it kind of gives me a nice natural finish. It's kind of like a little bit dewy. It's not too like watery, you know what I mean? So it looks really nice. My only complaint is the fact that it doesn't cover all those areas where I have like blemishes and redness, so I'm going to actually try and go back in with a second coat and see if I can cover those up. But it looks really good. It did settle into my smile lines a little bit. And I mean, I think that it is a really good and easy foundation from what I first look at, because normally I can tell when I first put it on if I'm going to hate it or love it. So let me just go back in and apply a little bit more product onto the cheeks and see if that makes a difference. So I went ahead and applied the second coat, and I definitely feel like it helped a little bit. I wouldn't say this foundation is really full coverage. I would say it's kind of like a medium coverage, but still a little bit buildable where you can get to a better coverage. But it's definitely not full coverage because I can still see blemishes peeking through and stuff. But I do think that this is a pretty good foundation because what you do is put it on as much as you feel like you need to. And then you can always go and spot correct with concealer, so it's an easy fix. It's not something that's like, you know, difficult to do. I do feel like it looks really nice. It does seem a little bit more dewy now that it's been on my face, especially my forehead area. So I'm wondering if I'm going to look oily by the end of the day. And I have dry skin, so that's kind of interesting. We're going to find out. Alright, so I applied the rest of my makeup. It is currently 3:26, so I will check in with you guys in a couple of hours to see how this foundation wears. Currently it is 6:20, so it's about 3 hours later. Looking at the overall, you know, application, I think it's good. I like the way it sits. I like the way it looks. It looks kind of like your skin. It's not looking cakey, it's not clumping anywhere. I do have a few problem areas, which I told you guys about. My smile lines are definitely prominent. The areas on my cheeks where I have redness, right here, definitely peeking through. Over here, it's starting to. Can I tell the difference between the primed side and the not primed side? Barely. I can see that the kind of area over here is a little bit better on the side that I put on the Professional, but besides that, I mean, I can't really tell too much. I do feel like on this side the foundation is holding a little bit better, especially on those red areas, while here it's already starting to like peek through. My nose looks a little bit patchy right here, but that might be because I like was itching it like this a little bit. It's shiny, you guys. It's not like oily, but it's definitely more oily than what I'm used to. I don't know if that is normal, if anybody else feels that way, but I'm not going to do any touch-ups. I want to see how well this lasts. So far it's been 3 hours. I'm not going to apply anymore, and we're going to see how it looks. Alright, so now it is 9:30, and let me tell you, I was FaceTiming with one of my friends, and my face just looked so oily in the entire video, and I don't know why. Like, I guess this is the dewiness, so I really regret not setting it with powder. But my forehead right here, super shiny. My nose, just excessive amount of shine. Right here, the highlight though, I think that's more the highlight than it is anything else. And then my chin is also very shiny. So my nose and forehead, I didn't apply highlight there. That's the foundation. And this is like mind-boggling to me because I am a dry skin girl. Now that it's been about 6 hours, I can see that it's staying. The staying power is pretty good. With the primer, it's a little bit better than the non-primer side, but I don't see too much of a difference. So what I'm gonna do for the last kind of couple hours is set it with powder and see if that helps. I'm gonna grab my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural and a brush and set my skin. Oh, that was too much. Okay, so I set my face with powder in the areas like my T-zone where it was super oily. It looks like it is better, so let's see how that wears for the next couple of hours. I definitely regret not powdering initially because I never have to worry about that. I never powder my skin, so this may not be something for oily skin girls. I don't know, unless you powder heavily normally. And let's see how the powder even wears, so hopefully it works out. So this is my last time checking in. It is currently 11:20, I believe. Let me check. It is 11:19, so we're close to that time. But I'm looking at my skin right now, and I'm going to tell you it looks a ton better now that I've powdered. I don't know whether or not this foundation will work with people with oily skin, because if I have dry skin and it got super oily in the T-zone for me, I don't know how it will work for people with oily skin. So let me know if you've tried this and if it has worked for you. But my advice is this is a really good foundation. I like the way it finishes off in general. My biggest concern is making sure you prime in order to make sure that it lasts all day compared to the side that I didn't have primer on, because that'll help. Because I've been wearing it for what, like maybe 9 hours now. So if you needed it for like 5 hours, it's definitely a-okay. You don't even need a primer. But to last all day, primers will definitely do. Compared to other foundations, it's definitely a medium coverage. I like the easy way of applying it where you can just like dab it on. If you feel like you need more coverage, I think that you can always add a second layer throughout the day, bring this with you, and just go in and like apply a second little dab, because it seems like it doesn't really affect it whether or not the foundation already dried. I do like the texture, the finish. My only recommendation is if you have any, you know, skin, powder up, because your forehead and nose area could get oily. That was my biggest concern. My smile lines are definitely showing, but that is normal for me. And besides that, I actually really like it. Is it worth $15.99? It's pushing it because it is pretty pricey, but for the drugstore, I think it's a pretty good foundation. It's definitely up there for me with my L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Glow. However, this one I think is more of a full coverage, and this one I probably wouldn't wear on an everyday basis. This is a lot more kind of user-friendly for every day, so I definitely like this. I will give it a thumbs up, so let me know if you try this out. I'm not really enthusiastic about the amount of shades they have available. Why didn't they bring more out? But I mean, I can make it work. I kind of bring it down the neck and kind of blend it in. I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks again so much for watching. Don't forget to give it a giant thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the little notification bell thing to make sure that you're notified for my videos. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye!